Oh, things I got. My girlfriend gave me this shirt, which has got a pretty accurate rendering of the DL-44 on it for the Han Hero A New Hope version. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to do that 2020 retrospective video that I've been promising for the last couple videos. I did one at the beginning of 2019 last year, and I don't know, it was kind of interesting to look back, and so I think I'm going to do one every year. I think it's important to look back and kind of also think about the future. For me, 2020, as many people, it started off real rough. Like, I got laid off like in the first week of January. I had a herniated disc in my back, which was extraordinarily painful. I had to take a lot of pills. I had to get epidural in my back. It was not fun. And then I was also unemployed, so, paying for that was a lot of fun. I had to spend a lot of time laying on the floor because it was the only way I could be comfortable and not be in excruciating pain the whole time. So that's probably why I was, not as productive at the very beginning of the year, because it would kind of come and go. Like, it'd be really, really bad, and then it wouldn't be that bad. And then it'd be really, really bad, and it wouldn't be that bad. There's points where, like, I'd be in so much pain that I would just start sweating. Like I don't know if you've ever been in that kind of pain. It sucks. But I don't wish it on anybody. But anyways, I did. My back did get better, and I found a job, which I still have now, and it's great. I love it. Making more money than I did before I got laid off, and so that is been a very big positive in my life. One thing that has gone very well for me this year. So I'm very thankful for that. So I got my notes up here on my computer. You guys can't see it, but just kind of gonna go through some things. Last year, I did 50 videos. Not all of them were props. Well, they never are. But I did less than one video a week, which is less than half of what I did for 2019. 2019, I was at a pace of like just a little over 2 a week, which is pretty aggressive. I don't know how I had time to do anything. This year I haven't had time, despite being quarantined, being locked up at home. I work from home right now. Luckily I'm able to do that. But I just don't have that kind of free time, unfortunately. It's amazing. It's like I don't have a commute, but man, I have a lot less time, which is weird. Anyway, but let's talk about the projects. Starting off the year, I was working on my EE3. In February, though, I had to set that aside because I was missing a part and I couldn't modify the escutcheons that I had to work. And if you guys have watched those videos, I'll try to put links up here in the corner, or whichever corner it is. You can click on them as I talk about each project if you want to watch that. But anyways, I started off working on it and put it on the back burner because I could not get those screws to work. I actually broke a die wrench trying to rethread some screws, or not, cut new threads deeper on the shank on some screws so I could make them work on the stock for this. Broke that die wrench, which was crazy. And that put a halt to everything because I was waiting for Fieldmarshal's parts. And then I find out that my casting holes are drilled too big for those parts, and they won't work. Not without like a bunch of, like some washers or whatever, which I think I'd have to have custom made anyway because the difference was so drastic. Anyway, I got it done. I got it done with literally like 3 hours left of the year. So I was working on it New Year's Eve. About 9 p.m. I think is when I got it done. The glue was still wet on it, but it was, it's that shoe goo stuff, so it sets up pretty quick. So I had a couple hours to spare with getting that done. Other things, let's see, what else did I work on? I worked on the Hoth Electro binoculars for Ian. That was a really cool project. I really love that prop. I really want to get a kit for myself. It was kind of a bit more work than normal because it was a seconds cast, and if you don't know what that means, it's a lesser quality cast, or like it wouldn't be one that was sold at full price, basically. So if you're going to buy a full price kit, you would get a much nicer cast that wouldn't have as many like pinholes that have to be filled and things like that. So wouldn't require as much work. Like I had to go through and find all these pinholes, which are the same color as the resin, and so I'm finding them, then trying to paint over it and see if I got them all. And anyways, it was a lot of filling and then painting and weathering and stuff like that. But it turned out looking wonderful. I really dig it. Like it was like one of the first, I think, non weapon props that I've done. Most everything has been a lightsaber or a blaster up to that point. I mean, I've done like a comlink. I think that was the only other thing. I have a Yoda lamp. That was another one. But yeah, that was really cool because it was so big, and I have those Archive X paints that I used to weather it, which are just wonderful colors. Wonderful colors. Let's see, what else did I work on? The Mauser. I finished this. Got the kit in 2019. I figured out how to put it together. Did a video on how to put it together. But I just let it sit over here, assembled, unfinished. I didn't have any bluing on it. And then I decided, when I picked it up and looked at it, because it had flash rust, I was like, crap, I got to do something about that. So I knocked all the rust off and blued it. Not a hard project. I did a little light sanding, and then put the bluing on, and it turned out really good. Really happy with it. And that is going to be the base gun for my Greedo killer, which Ian so graciously gave me the compact scope for. I've got to modify this to make it work, but I've got all the parts now, and that'll be coming eventually. I don't know when. I worked on the motorcycle, the CM 400T, just a little bit. So the story on that is, a buddy of mine gave it to me. He was going to get rid of it. He was going to donate it, or I don't even think he was going to donate. I think he was just going to have somebody come pick it up. I was like, I'll take it, So he gave it to me. I was all gung-ho about working on it and excited about it. And I needed to get a new battery for it. So I get online, I research which battery it needs. I find a company that's supposedly selling it, order from it. They send it to me, not the right battery. We have this huge PayPal dispute, go back and forth for like 2 months. And finally I did win, but I was so pissed off. I didn't want to work on it. And I had to go get a battery from somewhere else. And it was just this whole, just took the wind out of my sails on that. I am going to get back to that. I will hopefully be able to do videos, hopefully get it running. It just seems like a fun project and something different than what I typically do. So I'm going to probably try to do stuff like that. Some odds and ends that are not props, more often. Let's see, what else? I did a Hale's Neck repair, which I think was just a cracked wind vane, if I remember correctly. I'll be doing another one of those here soon. I don't know if I'll do a video on it, but I probably will. Let's see. Oh, the Hoth Idealized version, which is sitting right over here. I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing I'm not really happy with is the flash hider. I think I need to draw more lines on it. It looks too neat and clean. It almost looks cartoonish to me when it's too even and perfect. So it's not a big deal for me to just draw more lines on it and kind of mess it up a little bit. That's the fun part. But it's pretty much done for the most part. I'm happy with the rest of it. I think it looks good. It looks right. Another big project, and this is about when the slowdown for me happened, when I got real busy, was Luke's V2 that I made for Andy. So I started off that project, and then I got really, really busy. Just didn't have time for working on anything, so it took me so much longer than it should have. But it turned out really good. It was cool to see a different kit. I had not seen that. My personal ones I have are Starkiller ones that I bought a long time ago, and so I hadn't seen the kit that Aaron had put out. which is really cool. It was interesting to see the differences in the two kits and how they're assembled. So that was a cool project. I really want to redo mine, and I'll talk about that later. Another one, the Mousetrap videos. So the Mousetrap videos, my house got infested with mice, and they were making messes, and they were causing damage, and it was driving me crazy. Basically, I'll ruin the ending for you. I wound up getting 3 cats. I did catch a bunch of mice myself, but I got 3 cats because I could probably just sit there and catch mice over and over and over. You need a real deterrent. You may need to make them not want to come in, and cats will do that. So I have 3 cats now. 3 of them. All right. The detention center monitor. Okay, this was a really cool project. I really love some of those background ones, and it's not even like so obscure that people don't recognize it. The only connection to any of the characters is it gets blown up, which is great. You see it on the wall. There's a couple other things that they shoot, and they just different wall panels and stuff like that. I love those little geeky things that are kind of in the background. I have it up on my wall, like right over here, and it just looks awesome. I see it every day because this is my office, and it's just like it's got this imposing, like I'm watching you vibe to it, which is really cool. Not always great if you're trying to work. It feels like somebody's looking over your shoulder, especially because it's like looking over my shoulder. Anyway, so that's probably about it for projects. There was like little stuff, I think, in between stuff, but there was a few acquisitions I got. The Staff of Ra headpiece. That was a really cool thing to get. That's a casting of the actual prop. That was really awesome. I got a casting of the real Luke stunt lightsaber. A lot of people got them. And I also got the Tron discs and the Tron baton. That's turns into the bike, which actually I really dig. And there's a Tron animated series on Disney Plus, and if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It's a little surprising it's a kid's show because it gets kind of dark. It's a kind of like Clone Wars. Like it starts off pretty kiddie in that first season, but as the seasons go on, you're like, this is a kid's show. Like this is kind of intense. There was that. I got myself 2 El Toros. If you don't know, that's the handle on the Millennium Falcon for steering. I got 2 of them, so I got a set. I can steer the Millennium Falcon now, which is handy. One was a gift from Ian. Kind of like he got me this scope, which is epic. He got me the El Toro. He knew I wanted one of these really bad, and I was having a hard time getting my hands on one. And he tracked one down and got it for me because I do a lot of work for him. Just kind of behind the scenes stuff, taking photos and shipping things, that sort of stuff. So very appreciative to get the El Toro and the scope. These are really cool items, and I love them. I pick this up all the time and just kind of, it's a great like stress thing, It's just fitted to your hand, and it's like brass knuckles almost. Let's see. All right, so that's going to wrap it up, I think, for 2020. I do want to talk about 2021. There's things coming up, things I've talked about, kind of mentioned before. The big ones are the X-Wing helmet is coming up soon-ish. I got a couple things I got to take care of before I can get my bench clear again to work on that. Let's see. That's actually going to be really cool. I'm really excited about that one. I know I announced it and I was gung-ho about it, but then like a lot of stuff happened and I just couldn't get started on it. But I'm excited to get to that. The Greedo Killer, because of the scope, now I have everything, all the real parts that one could have other than a real Mauser, or actually I don't have a real MGC. I'm using a Fieldmarshal, which I actually think is superior. It just looks cooler. I don't know. It just like I have an MGC and I have a Fieldmarshal and I have several Denix or Denix, however you want to say that. I have several of those. I actually prefer the Fieldmarshal over it because it feels solid. It's got nice clean lines and they're readily available. The MGCs are expensive and they're getting harder to find. Not that the Fieldmarshal's cheap, but it's just, I don't feel as bad modifying a gun that is meant for modification and is still being produced, you know. And it's more accurate, I think, to an actual Mauser, whereas the MGC is, I mean, it's a replica, it's supposed to replicate a Mauser, but like, it's not, the Fieldmarshal isn't replicating what they found on the MGC, if that makes sense. Anyway, at least that's, I think. I'd have to ask, I think, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said in one of his threads. Because all the proportions were taken from a real Mauser, not from the MGC, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. Don't quote me. But if you do find out, let me know in the comments. Yeah. Oh, I mentioned the V2 that I did for Andy. I have a V2 that I completed some couple years ago. I have another V2 body that I have not done. So what I'm going to do, because I like the way the one that I built for Andy, I like the way it turned out a lot. And because we had new, you know, video and photo reference turn up, I was able to use that to make Andy's look really good and a lot more accurate and look like it felt more real. So I'm going to redo my one that I already did as an Obi-Wan stunt from A New Hope. And then I'm going to do the untouched V2 body, which both of them are Star Killer. There's slightly different versions. I think that's the second version, and then my existing one that I finished is a second version, and I think the one that's not completed is a third version. And I've had them prior to the one that I did for Andy. Like what is that one called? Why is my brain blank? It's the Aaron made it. Anyway, prior to that one coming out. Anyways. So that's a project, V2 and Obi-Wan stunt. There's two projects. So the Vader Reveal. The Vader Reveal, I honestly don't think I'll be able to build this year. And the reason why is I'm still missing a lot of parts. And some big ones. Like I have the mask and I have the basically the top and bottom half of the mask, and I have castings of a lot of the parts, but I'm missing like there's a neck brace that goes for that. There's a lot of pieces that go on the inside, like little wires and braided sleeves and tubes and things like that go on the inside of that reveal that I don't have. And then there's a lot of the parts that I have in resin that I would like to be in metal, just because I don't feel like painted resin, if you're going to look at it up close, you're probably not going to be fooled that it's resin, you know, like, you know, you're not going to think it's metal. You're going to be like, oh, that's a painted. And I'm going to be looking at it up close. So it's going to drive me crazy if I know that it's not. I mean, there's some parts I probably won't be able to get, like the dental expanders. Yeah. I could get 3D printed ones, but I think I've added up the cost of what it would take to get those, and it's like $700 to buy all the ones I would need 3D printed in metal. Ouch. So, but that's a long play project. I wanted to announce it because I was really excited about it, and it was expensive. And I'm still collecting parts. Like I actually update on that is I got this camera. This is for one of the lenses that goes on the inside of the Vader helmet. And then leading into that, I'm going to announce a new project right now. Let me go get it. Ta-da! Another Vader helmet. I'm not going Vader crazy, don't worry. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I do like Vader quite a bit. He's a very, very good villain. Great character. The reason why I got that is that turned up locally for cheap, really cheap. That is a SPFX or Shadow FX helmet. It's supposed to be the ESB version of the helmet, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as my practice helmet for the Vader Reveal. What I mean is, like, I'm going to practice, like, finishing and painting on this one because I got it cheap. And I don't know if I'll keep it long term, but I will finish it. So that will be a project, and that will be something I will do, or at least try to get to this year. So that's something coming up. I do plan to do a lot more non-prop projects because I'm always working on something. If I have time, I don't watch TV hardly ever. The only time I get to watch anything is when I'm eating dinner. Like, I sit down to eat dinner, I'm watching a show, and it's not more than 30 minutes. So I don't have, like, gobs of free time. Like, I'm always working on something. I'm probably going to bring in some of my other hobbies. I got a fish tank that I'm going to be replacing, which is going to be a massive upgrade. Like, this fish tank I've had, it's a freshwater, fully planted tank. It's 37-gallon tall. I've had it for 20 years. It's been planted heavily like the way it is now for like 15. The only thing I really changed on it in that time is lights, I think. I had the heater go out, but I replaced it with the exact same heater. That's about it. Other than the fish and the plants kind of dying off and me getting new stuff, it's been basically the exact same for 15 years. It needs to be upgraded. I have this huge tank I've been sitting on for over 2 years. I'm purchasing the necessary parts to get it set up because I'm not reusing anything from that old tank. But that's going to be an interesting project, I think. I'm going to record it just for my own purposes. If anybody is interested in that, great. But that's what I do. I do these videos because I find it interesting to learn about editing and the software and like the styles and stuff like that, and how to, tell a story with, video. If anybody's wondering about my motivations there. So there's that. The motorcycle. I've got some car projects that are coming up. I got some modifications I want to do to my kayak. I might do some mountain biking videos. I don't know. Like, right now it's too cold to do like a lot of stuff, but I'm probably gonna like branch out a little bit more. I said that last year, but then I got really busy with everything, so I couldn't do a whole lot. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be about it for this video. Thank you for watching. Really, the comments and everything, is much appreciated. It does mean a lot to me that you guys watch and you enjoy it. I try to, I don't do this to be famous. I just try to like share information, and I'm trying to learn about editing just because I find, the whole filmmaking process fascinating. I got into movie props because it's a natural extension for me to like start learning how to, compose a shot and edit and, do soundtrack and, how to figure out how to do the sound and the color grading. And while I'm a novice at all these things, I do try to improve every single time. And hopefully you guys notice. I try. That's all I can do is I can try. Anyways, this is getting kind of long, so I'm going to cut it off here. Check out my blog, propchopshop.com. I realize I have a little bit of a weird problem with the URL right now. I think I've had it the whole time, but I think if you type in just propchopshop.com, it won't take you there. You have to type in like https://www.propchopshop.com, and then it will take you there. So I'm trying to figure out why the heck that is. But anytime I mention that blog, there will be a link in the description. So, you could always do that. Look there. I put links to things. Sometimes affiliate links. Sometimes you can buy things. And I get a tiny little kickback. Literally pennies. It's comical how little I get when somebody clicks on something, there's an affiliate link, and they purchase it. Anyway, enough. I will see you guys in the next video. I think the next video is going to be a video about a scope. I'm not giving that away yet. You'll see soon. Talk to you later. Get out and make some stuff, guys. Bye-bye.